William F. Ogburn is going to study material culture and non-material culture. Now, years ago, there was an experiment done by a couple of scientists, and they cloned the first sheep. In other words, they made a sheep not from sheep itself, but from a test tube, by putting the chemicals, the DNA in, and mixing them together in a way that created an identical twin without a mom and a dad. That's a clone. They cloned a sheep and they named it Dolly. Do you remember that? Some of us believe, some of us sociologists believe, that somebody's already cloned a human being, and that we're going to have to wait about 18 years and they're going to introduce us to this human being who's now 18 or 21, who's a clone. We're worrying about, should we clone food so the farmers don't have to grow so much? Should we clone that corn? There's already cloned food showing up some. Cloning is becoming something that we have to worry about. That's the non-material culture. So the material culture says, here's a new technological condition. We can now create a sheep from the cells of the sheep itself. We can extract that material and put it in a test tube and create an identical twin. Then the non-material culture, the ideas, the value, the ethics of the society come running in the next day, actually, in Congress. Should we allow cloning of animals? Should we do that or not? Should we ban it before we study it more, or should we allow cloning to happen? Should we try to clone a human being? It's possible. No, you're playing God. Yes, we need to study this. This could be invaluable for disease. No, you shouldn't do that. There's two camps on this. That's the non-material culture. That's the argument, the debate of how to use new technology. That's the material culture. So Ogburn points out to us that non-material culture is always going to lag behind new material conditions. All I've got to do to show you the cultural lag is to ask you all if we should clone a dog. Now imagine you've got the perfect dog, and you love that little dog, and it's great. Would you like to take some cells and have them frozen, and if anything happens to your dog, you could create an identical twin of Ralphie and go down to the Cloney Dog Clinic and pull it out and create a brand new dog and raise it yourself just like you did the first one?
There's actually a company in Korea that's already doing that.
Yeah. It's going to happen, isn't it?
It's already happening.
Already.
It costs $50,000 to make
50 grand now to get the identical twin of your dog. What about Sid's death? You got a baby, dies at 2 months of Sid's death. You now know your baby is vulnerable to it. Would you as parents want to take some of those cells and recreate that baby and raise that same baby, an identical twin of it, to replace the one you lost? If you were in that position, would you want to do that? Do you see those heavy questions that the non-material culture has to deal with? Wouldn't we get in an argument in here about that? Wouldn't some of you say that's playing God, that's God's business, not man's? Don't do it. Some of you would go religious. Some of you would go cost. Some of you would go, what do we do with the ones where it doesn't work? They're not going to be identical, are they? Doesn't our history and our experiences and what happened to us growing up affect us? And are we not going to create the same person? Would Einstein be Einstein again? I don't know. Yeah. So right now we're going to ban it. Now, if your dad was my dad and he had Parkinson's disease, would you want them to do stem cell research and possibly implant something in the spine and allow him to walk again and to talk again? Would you like your parents with Alzheimer's or with my brother with dementia to be able to plant cells in their brain to have that disease go away? Are we going to go there or are we not going to go there? And those heavy-duty ethical right-wrong questions get weighed by the non-material culture. So this happens first. New material, new technological condition occurs, and this runs to catch up. So Ogburn says there's always a cultural lag, and during that time there's heavy debate. The President of the United States stepped into this and stopped it. Should the President stop it, or should a panel of scientists stop it, or should it be stopped, or what? You see the problem with this? This is heavy duty. It's going to take some time for us to fight this out and debate it. Look at all the possibilities and then see what's going to happen. So this is always going to lag behind this. Does that make sense to you? Okay.